Hey there, friend. Why make art? In today's world, we can just generate anything of our imagination with AI. And I want to address why you would want to make something by hand now. Because that's kind of the basis for my whole art thing going on my AI video channel that might not have gotten through to people, but I'm sticking with it anyway. So why? Why make your own stuff? For one thing, it is much easier to get exactly what you imagine if you actively take part in the creation process. So if you're a person who has a very clear vision in your mind, trying to just generate that with a text prompt is going to be tedious and not fun for you. If you're a person who does not have a lot of imagination, sure, then you can use an AI to fill that hole for you. And I think if you're able to think original ideas, it doesn't matter if there's some AI element to it, people are going to recognize original ideas. So many of these AIs aren't all that original. If you ask them to come up with an idea for you, you'll see them come short in a lot of the cases. So that's one thing. But there is more to it, though. I'm trying to see if I can find some of the other stuff I made based off of my own drawings. Because I've been really experimenting hard with this and trying to figure out, okay, so how can you be original in a way that people recognize it as being original, even though you're using AI in your process, and people notice that you are using AI in your process? They most certainly do not recognize the fact that you've trained something on your own art style. That does not register for most people. I mean, to most people, this is just a 2D drawing. They don't see anything else, obviously. So here is me trying to convert my artwork into a puppet film aesthetic instead. Still does look like my drawings, but I'm using Flux 2 Klein 4B here, so the results are all over the place in terms of anatomy and whatnot. But I am personally able to recognize my own characters here. So there's that, but people in general will not recognize that as being super original, because like this aesthetic is a tried and true thing that lives on to this very day. So then what? It's sadly not as straightforward as you would think it should be. There's a lot of different approaches to this, and why waste your time making something by hand if a computer can do this? Um, I would argue that it's for the calming, relaxing, and meditative process of creating something by hand. That is the best argument I can make for creating something by hand. It is the experience you get from creating something by hand. So that being, in this case, the drawings that all of this is based off of. And yes, Flux 2 Klein 4B is an amazing model. Given how fucking small it is, like, how is this even possible? A 4 billion parameter model that takes 5 seconds to generate an image. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Not getting ahead of myself, I'm forgetting to talk about the thing I was supposed to talk about, which was why create art. Now, I really wanted to dive deep into the whole generating stuff by hand, creating stuff by hand, and finding some way to elevate it with the help of AI. But what I find time and time again is I don't want to create art by hand anymore. I just don't want to. And one of the reasons is I'm a creative person. That doesn't mean that I have to sit around and draw all day. And when all of these tools are available to me, I get sort of over inspired, to say the least. I get too inspired. I get hyper inspired by it. So I just find myself creating something all the time. And that's where I think this whole AI slop mess is going on for most people, because you can't help it. You just want to create. You just want to make stuff. It's like you have this supercomputer all of a sudden that can do everything. So you need to make, make, make. Instead of doing what I originally intended, which was embracing that calming, relaxing, meditative process of drawing by hand and doing all the tedious, boring stuff with the help of AI. That was my original intention. And I've gotten quite a long way in that process, to be honest. So I've made workflows that help me edit my videos for me, workflows that can generate an entire video based off of a rant, and I can just click generate and go for a walk, leaving me to think all the creative thoughts, so to say. But it still kind of feels hollow and meaningless, to be honest. I'm trying to figure out, like, why is that? Why does it feel so hollow and meaningless? It's kind of like when you're on Netflix and there's so many things you can watch. There's just like a billion movies in there. The same thing applies to when we have all these tools at our fingertips and we can create anything we dream of. Then you just want to make it all. And you get so overwhelmed by the idea that you get burned out by it and wind up not creating anything. Or just half-assing it with everything you do create. That is really, really weird. I mean, how else could you say it? Like, it's super weird. It's so weird that it's like you cannot be happy no matter what you do. There is just no winning in life, man. Not to sound self-defeating, but it actually just becomes too much. That is the only way to describe it. It just becomes too much. Now, dealing with Dorkboy is really fun, but again, when there's so many possibilities and there are so many different directions you can take it, and there's a new fucking AI tool every single goddamn day. How do you even know what to make? You need to start over twice a week. So I went from generating videos with 2.1 for my channel, almost figuring it out, having it trained on 60 of my hand-drawn artwork, to make the jump 3 or 4 generations ahead a couple of months later. Because I jumped past 2.2, skipped it entirely, briefly visited Hunyuan 1.5 or whatever it's called, and jumped straight to LTX 2.0 back then. And from there, I've almost been able to keep up. But as soon as I try to do my own thing, then I fall off the wagon again and need to catch up. So this is again me trying to do my own thing, and I guess I have to stick with it this time, because I cannot keep on chasing all kinds of fucking trends all over the place all of the time. That gets extremely tedious, to say the least. Very quickly. It gets so goddamn tedious, man. But my point was, like, why make artwork in this day and age? And this makes me want to go back to one of the videos that was the most controversial on my entire channel, that got so many downvotes, and for whatever reason got so many plays as well. And I think that is most certainly because of the artwork I made for it, partly with the help of AI. This thing, Pain is Beautiful. I mean, 22% like it. It is so fucking controversial, but the reason why I think so many people saw it to begin with was the artwork. So that thing, I spent not very long, just long enough, enjoying myself, creating a little bit of art. Let's see if I can find it here. And had AI do the boring stuff, essentially. Here we go. Pain is Beautiful. So here I drew this by hand, and I had an AI do the coloring on it. The idea here was 100% my own, which was a ninja badass crying, reading a book about anxiety with a broken heart on it, and a peace emoji coffee cup, while a saber-toothed tiger is behind him, looking at a delicious meal, right? Pain is Beautiful. This is what drew people in, I think. This is what made them click on the video, but once they saw the video, they felt betrayed by it or whatever, because it was one of those really like AI slop type of videos where I simply click the fucking generate button and yeah. I tried to generate an entire video based off of this single drawing. And I think the drawing was the success here. It did not take too long to make it. The idea was my own. I I relaxed and had a good time while creating it. That drew people in. The AI sloppiness of the actual animations based off of this thing is what made so many click the thumbs down button. That's what I think. The concept and artwork is what drew people in. That's the only thing that makes sense. Because people clicked on it for the title, which was my idea, and this image. My point being, this is the human thing. So what people clicked on was the human thing. What drew them away was the AI thing. Getting back to the whole point of why make something on your own? Why make something by yourself? Could an AI do this? I don't know. I mean, sure, it could do this technically a hell of a lot better than I could, but would it come up with this idea and a concept like pain is beautiful? No fucking way, because they're too politically correct, those AI models. They don't have this kind of a sense of humor. It does not understand why a ninja reading a book with anxiety on it and a broken heart and all of this, it would not produce this if you asked it for it. It just wouldn't. I know. I've dealt so much with ChatGPT and all of these others now that I know it would not produce this. It would if you asked it to, however. So why draw it? That's the question. Then it's all for the process. Now I could easily convert this into a photorealistic style that looked more pleasing with the help of AI. The reason why I haven't really done that all that much is because I feel I lose a part of myself when I do it. That's the whole point of training these models on my artwork. Now, it doesn't matter how much energy I put in to try to be original using AI, because people are gonna hate it anyway. That's just the nature of things. I think it really fucking sucks that the world is like that. But that is how it is. And there's no point in being a little bitch about it and go crying because it's always been like that, like it was like that way before AI was ever a thing. Back when I made rap music, once I got so good at rapping that people could not tell me shit anymore, that's exactly what they did. They just stopped responding altogether. That is exactly what happened. Not a whole bunch of people coming to tell me how good I was, they just shut up once I got to a certain skill level. So, I mean, that's what's going to happen with AI as well. Once you get to a point where people can't see anymore whether or not something is AI generated, and we're not far from it, then they're just going to shut up about it. And then everyone is going to do it. And then what I'll profit from is my reflections around this exact topic. Because that's the one thing that shines through. Whether or not you're able to create things that an AI would not create. Whether or not your human side shines through. And I am very sure that if you asked ChatGPT to generate an image for the title Pain is Beautiful, it would not come up with this. It just wouldn't. And it wouldn't in a year or two neither. It does not have this type of humor. It is too politically correct to do it. It does not understand the logic that a ninja could be in this type of a situation. It just would not dream it up. No fucking way. And that is what's going to set people apart in the future. That's what I think. It's the ideas market. And in one way, that is extremely cool because then it's not about how skilled you are anymore. I think it's very unfair. Like, certain people feel like actually sitting around drawing all day. Some people, they don't have the attention span for it. They don't, I don't know, for whatever reason, they can't. And they might not see as many doors open for them in terms of bringing their ideas to life. While now, they can. And people are still going to create artwork because it's a calming, relaxing, zen thing to do. People pay money to take painting courses, and they've always done that. People were afraid that painting was going to die out once the camera uh, got brought into existence, and it didn't. Sure, it removed some painters who made a living trying to be a camera, but people still paint. Now, what I want to do is enjoy the process of drawing or creating in general. It doesn't need to be drawing. It can be fucking knitting. It can be 3D modeling. I don't know. Is that Zen process, but without spending forever on one image. And not making animated films where you have to create a billion images. There needs to be something in between those two things. Spending forever on one image or creating 100 billion images to make a short film. And I think the middle ground there is coming up with a unique idea for something you would like to create, or having an AI help you brainstorm ideas, sit down, enjoy yourself with a cup of tea and some jazz music and whatever, create something, and don't worry so much about how good or bad it looks. Have an AI elevate it for you afterwards. And the true genius of you in all of this is your ideas. That's what I think. Yeah. Rambly video. Catch ya folks on the next one.